Divine names. A symbol of perception of difference, whereby one quality is distinguished from another. To know a name or call on a specific name is to understand the difference in the quality in relation to what or who the name is attached to. When a friend is given a nickname, it is the qualities exemplified by that individual that awarded him or her that specific name. Name of beings, a symbol of differentiations of qualities, or the differences by which each quality is distinguishable from other qualities. The same way you as man and woman display various qualities that are used for different functions of earth life, the heavens or higher planes of existence are governed by the same law. YHVH, which is in the mind of the all, displays his will and quality through the Elohim, B'nai Elohim, the angels, etc., who are with or without shape or form. His will and quality are displayed in all beings who operate within the Father's many mansions. Thus, the need to call names to access a specific office or attribute of the Most High. For example, mercy, justice, judgment, or creation. Remember, in the first creation, man was without form, pure energy, etheric, no spoken language. They, male and female, was of a telepathic ninth-dimensional nature, the form of an angel called an ophanim. This was before the fall, of course. Genesis 1:27. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. After the world was created, God was then ready to manifest thereon, but not in its highest form. Genesis 1:27. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he them, male and female. This creation was not material, but of a ninth-dimensional nature. The primary bodies God created were globular. Revelation 21:17. And he measured the wall thereof, 144 cubits, according to the measure of a man, that is, of an angel. 144 times 18, which is a cubit, 2,592. 2,592. 2 plus 5 plus 9 plus 2 is 18. 18. 1 plus 8 is 9. 144. 1 plus 4 plus 4 is 9. 18. 1 plus 8 is 9. The first creation, a being that is positive, male, active, also negative, female, passive, with an etheric body, not of flesh and bone, that took part of the nature of the Creator. Whether you believe it or not, it does not change the law in which man was created. Man possesses the characteristics of the infinite. Only when he or she has separated themselves from this state of consciousness and unity, then man becomes finite. Some creator beings who do the will of the Supreme Being, God the Father, are of this same nature, etheric, and are still divinely connected because they did not participate in the fall. Our means of divine connection has been severed. So how do we communicate with beings of a higher order, or God as we put it? They are working the application of law in harmony on their planes of existence above. These laws are far beyond the concept of man's third-dimensional conscious mind. Some of you will say, well, ye are gods. So you think automatically, without study, wisdom, or knowledge, while in your fallen state, you can dial up at will and receive influx. That's incorrect. Man and woman has the spark of God within, but has a goal which is to ultimately regain light and learn the mysteries of God the Almighty's creations. Knowing this, what makes you think you don't have to seek? You can just coast through life doing bare minimum. If names are not important, why did the Vatican find it necessary to remove the divine names from the scriptures? You are here to seek, study, move beyond faith, which is not rooted in study or knowing. You must move towards belief, which is acquired through wisdom and knowledge, and then understanding. You must continue to knock at this door because it will not open for you the first or even the second time. Easy is the path to darkness, but temporal is your reward. Rough is the path to light, but greater and everlasting is your reward. Matthew 7:7. Ask, and it shall be given to you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be open unto you. Your way of thinking couldn't be further from the truth. You are in your fallen state. You have lost connection with the home from whence you came. Yes, ye are gods, but you are in your fallen state. That God part of you is concealed, not yet manifested. That is the job you are here to complete. Yes, many of you at one point in your life have called on the Most High by the name Lord, or even called on the name Jesus, and the plea or call for help was answered. But a heartfelt plea will be answered depending on how contrite the heart is of the individual. Psalms 34:18. And the Lord is nigh unto them that are of a broken heart, and saveth such be of a contrite spirit. Contrite, to break, to bruise, or wear, literally worn or bruised, deeply affected with grief or sorrow. For God knows you are ignorant of the true names, but the cry or plea of a mother or a father in true despair is answered. The truth and sincerity in that desperate cry creates a vibration along with thought to connect. The problem is, how many times will you be in such a dire state? Not many, meaning this connection is a very limited line. As stated before, man was once completely telepathic. Genesis 11:6. Behold, the people is one, and they all one language. We still have the capability, but minimal. How many times have you thought to call your mother or husband, etc., and when you turn around, the phone rings? It is not a coincidence. There is no such thing. All effects have a cause or a root. This example is just the same as calling for aid of a higher force and using the title God or Lord, which is broad, even the name Jesus. It is sporadic. You cannot connect at will or consistently. Man is limited in his or her fallen state. How do the divine names of light cut through the code of limitation? By words, which is vibration, by sounds, which is frequency, and by thought, which is mentalism. First, words, which is vibration, and sound, which is frequency. Every letter in a word has a number value. Certain languages are of a higher value. The Hebrew language is the highest. Keys of Enoch 3:05. The question arises, why has the Hebrew language been selected to control the subatomic, which is the etheric particles, and to activate the spirituality of man? Enoch told me this: sacred languages was used because it was not primarily a language of words, letters, or pronunciation, but the thought of God, YHVH, or Yahweh, emanating as the flame projections. Hebrew is the first language of thought. The lips translated the thought vibration into words, and the hands brought it down into written form. The true Hebrew language does not exist in its entirety any longer. Only some divine names and words have been left behind. Even some of those have been erased. Some were scrubbed out by the Melchizedek priests who guarded the knowledge from the profane. Some were hidden by the wicked who got their hands on the scrolls to keep the righteous in darkness and limit the amount of light they can tap into in the dark ages. It was their time to rule. Keys of Enoch 3:05. These thought projections of flame carry a unique sound that is in resonance with the throne, which is the seat of the divine. There are different words and different names to access different worlds of light. Mentalism. The most ancient church. Church meaning a race or group of people of a certain thought at a period of time in history. The most ancient church is the time of the Adamic race. The most ancient church understood by the image of the Lord. Man is altogether ignorant that he is governed of the Lord through the angels and spirits. By spirit, man has communication with the world of spirit, and by angels with heaven. Some of you are ignorant of this because it was not given unto you. And quite frankly, our generation was not ready. Even in these last days, the ones who are not ready and are still plagued by the spirit of slumber, they live in fear and lack of understanding. Anything they don't understand, they call it witchcraft. The language which the spirits are familiar is not a language of words, but a language of ideas of thought. And this language is the universal of all languages. Divine names. When you sing to God, you call upon the name of the living God, the Hashem, spoken of by the prophet, principally as YHVH, or Yahweh, or any major of the 72 divine names of the Father. These names show the real power of life over death. This is why the lower hierarchies continually sought to control those who knew the names as a way to limit their use, attempting to break the direct consciousness linkage with the Godhead. So how do we know there are 72 names?
Yeah. serve, I shall judge. We walk in the wilderness, it hurts so much.